In the enchanting world of tiny house living, cottage-inspired design has emerged as the perfect solution for those seeking to maximize both beauty and functionality within compact spaces, while maintaining the romantic charm and emotional warmth that make houses feel like true homes. This delightful aesthetic combines the practical necessities of small space, living with the timeless appeal of vintage elements, creating interiors that feel both spacious and intimately cozy through thoughtful design choices and careful attention to detail.
Welcome to Rustic Elegance. Let's embark on a journey through the beauty of rustic decor, celebrating the warmth, simplicity, and natural charm of this timeless design.
Cottage-inspired tiny houses, romantic interiors with vintage modern decor and color trend ideas. What makes cottage-inspired tiny houses particularly compelling is their ability to create the illusion of spaciousness through strategic use of light colors, reflective surfaces, and flowing layouts that emphasize continuity rather than compartmentalization. This design approach celebrates the art of living beautifully with less, where carefully chosen vintage pieces, handmade details, and natural elements work together to create environments that feel both curated and authentically lived in. As we explore these 5 essential elements of cottage-inspired tiny house design, you'll discover how to achieve maximum visual impact and emotional satisfaction within limited square footage through smart color choices, furniture selection, lighting strategies, and layout decisions that honor both form and function. Each component offers endless opportunities for personalization and creativity, allowing you to interpret cottage romance in ways that reflect your unique lifestyle, while addressing the specific challenges and opportunities that tiny house living presents. 1. Floral patterns and pastel hues, the heart of cottage romance in tiny spaces. Soft color palettes that make tiny homes feel dreamy and spacious. Transform your compact living space into a romantic sanctuary by embracing soft color palettes featuring blush pink, powder blue, and light sage that create visual expansion while maintaining the gentle warmth essential to cottage-inspired design. These delicate hues work magic in tiny spaces by reflecting natural light throughout the interior, creating the illusion of greater square footage while establishing a serene atmosphere that promotes relaxation and emotional well-being. Apply these colors strategically throughout your tiny house, using lighter shades on walls and ceilings to maximize the sense of openness, while incorporating slightly deeper tones through textiles and accessories that add depth without sacrificing the airy quality. Vintage floral decor ideas for tiny house interiors. Incorporate the timeless charm of floral patterns throughout your tiny house interior by selecting designs that enhance rather than overwhelm your limited space, while adding the romantic character that defines successful cottage styling. Choose smaller-scale floral prints for wallpaper applications, throw pillows, and fabric accents that provide delicate detail without visual chaos, while reserving larger blooms for statement pieces like accent walls or major textile features that can serve as focal points in your carefully curated design scheme. The key lies in balancing floral elements with solid colors and natural textures, creating compositions that feel rich and layered, while maintaining the clean, uncluttered aesthetic essential to functional tiny house living. Consider mixing different floral scales and styles, perhaps combining vintage rose prints with modern botanical illustrations, or pairing traditional toile patterns with contemporary watercolor florals to create visual interest that reflects personal taste while honoring cottage design traditions. Easy floral decor ideas for small cottage-inspired spaces. Achieve authentic cottage charm through budget-friendly DIY projects and creative repurposing that maximizes visual impact while respecting both space and financial constraints common to tiny house living. Transform existing textiles by covering furniture cushions with vintage floral fabrics, creating custom curtain panels from beautiful linens, or repurposing printed materials as table runners, wall art, or decorative accents. Small touches like pressed flower arrangements in vintage frames, dried botanical displays in antique vases, or fresh blooms in repurposed containers can completely transform the mood and character of individual rooms or areas within your tiny house. Two, mixing antique furniture with minimalist layouts. The secret to balancing antique charm in modern tiny homes. Successfully integrate vintage furniture pieces into contemporary tiny house layouts by treating each antique item as a carefully chosen focal point that contributes both functionality and character to your thoughtfully minimalist environment. The secret lies in strategic placement and careful editing. Select 1 or 2 significant vintage pieces per area that can serve as visual anchors while providing essential storage or surface needs. A distressed wooden cabinet might serve as both dining storage and visual centerpiece, while a vintage side table could function as workspace, nightstand, and decorative display depending on your specific needs. Small furniture, big personality. Best vintage picks for tiny houses. Curate your tiny house furnishings by seeking vintage pieces that maximize personality per square foot while serving multiple functions essential to comfortable small space living. Focus on compact items with significant visual impact, carved wooden stools that provide seating and display surfaces, ornate mirrors that reflect light while adding decorative interest, or small dressers with intricate hardware that offer storage while serving as beautiful focal points. Look for pieces with open or visible legs that maintain visual flow and create the illusion of greater floor space, while avoiding bulky items that might overwhelm your carefully planned layout or impede movement through limited areas. The The patina and character marks that define authentic vintage pieces actually enhance their suitability for tiny house living, as they bring instant history and emotional warmth to spaces that might otherwise feel too new or sterile, despite their functional efficiency. Finding unique vintage pieces for your tiny home layout. Develop a strategic approach to vintage hunting that prioritizes pieces offering maximum functionality within your specific space constraints, while maintaining the authentic character that makes cottage-inspired design so emotionally appealing. Visit local thrift stores, estate sales, and online marketplaces with specific measurements and functional needs in mind, seeking items that can serve multiple purposes while contributing to your overall aesthetic goals. A vintage trunk might function as coffee table, storage solution, and extra seating, while an antique writing desk could serve workspace, dining surface, and decorative display. Three, romantic lighting, soft glow ideas for cozy cottage moods. How lighting sets the tone for your cottage-inspired tiny house. Master the art of atmospheric lighting in tiny spaces by understanding how strategic illumination can transform the mood, functionality, and perceived size of your cottage-inspired interior throughout different times of day and various activities. Layered lighting becomes essential in compact environments where single overhead fixtures cannot adequately serve all needs. Instead, combine ambient lighting through soft lamps, task lighting for specific activities, and accent lighting that highlights beautiful details. The warm glow of properly positioned lighting can make tiny spaces feel infinitely more spacious and welcoming than harsh overhead illumination, while strategic placement can define different functional areas without requiring physical barriers. Best lighting styles for romantic cottage vibes in tiny interiors. Select lighting fixtures that reinforce your cottage aesthetic while providing practical illumination suited to tiny house living through vintage-inspired designs featuring delicate finishes, romantic details, and appropriately scaled proportions. Choose fixtures with elements like frosted glass shades, floral metalwork, candle-style bulbs, or fabric lampshades that diffuse light gently while adding decorative interest that complements your overall design scheme. Wall-mounted sconces save precious surface space while providing targeted lighting for reading or task areas, while pendant lights over dining or workspace areas can define zones without requiring floor space for standing lamps. Consider the impact of fixture size and placement carefully. Pieces that are too large can overwhelm tiny spaces, while those that are too small might feel insignificant or fail to provide adequate illumination for daily activities and the comfortable atmosphere essential to successful cottage-inspired living. Small lighting tips to brighten your space with a romantic feel. Enhance your tiny house lighting through creative solutions that don't require permanent installation or major electrical work, making them perfect for rental situations or budget-conscious renovations. Incorporate flexible lighting options like battery-operated fairy lights that can be draped around architectural features, table lamps that can be moved as needed, or LED strip lights hidden under shelving. Use warm white bulbs consistently throughout your space to maintain a cohesive, cozy atmosphere, and consider adding fabric covers or decorative shades to existing fixtures to enhance their romantic appeal. Four, open concept cottage layouts, flow, function, and beauty. Why open concept living suits cottage-inspired tiny homes? Embrace open concept design as the perfect foundation for cottage-inspired tiny house living, where removing physical barriers between functional areas creates visual continuity that makes compact spaces feel significantly larger, while allowing romantic design elements to flow naturally throughout the interior. Open layouts maximize both natural light distribution and sightlines, creating environments that feel spacious and welcoming rather than cramped or compartmentalized. This approach also supports the cottage aesthetic's emphasis on comfortable, Informal living by encouraging natural movement and interaction between different functional areas. Zoning with style, defining spaces in a cottage-inspired open layout. Create distinct functional areas within your open concept tiny house through strategic use of furniture placement, decorative elements, and visual cues that define zones without sacrificing the flow and spaciousness that make small spaces feel comfortable and livable. Use area rugs to anchor different activity zones, perhaps a vintage floral rug to define the seating area, a smaller geometric pattern for workspace, or a runner to delineate the kitchen zone, while maintaining visual connection between areas through coordinated colors or complementary patterns. Low shelving units, console tables, or even strategically placed plants can create gentle barriers that suggest separate functions while maintaining sightlines and movement flow throughout the space. Lighting also plays a crucial role in zoning. Pendant lights over dining areas, table lamps in reading corners, or under-cabinet lighting in kitchen zones can define different activities while contributing to the overall romantic atmosphere that defines successful cottage-inspired design. Smart furniture ideas that maintain flow and vintage beauty. Select and arrange furniture pieces that support open concept flow while providing essential functions and maintaining the romantic character that defines cottage-inspired design aesthetics. Choose items with visible legs or open bases that allow visual flow underneath, creating the illusion of greater floor space while providing necessary surfaces and storage. Furniture on wheels, like vintage kitchen carts, rolling storage units, or movable side tables, offers flexibility in small spaces while maintaining the authentic character that makes cottage design so emotionally appealing. Five. Cottage-inspired color trends 2025 for romantic tiny living. Top romantic color trends for cottage-style tiny homes in 2025. Embrace the latest color trends specifically suited to cottage-inspired tiny house living through sophisticated palettes featuring creamy whites, faded sage greens, dusty blues, lavender grays, and soft blush pinks that create visual expansion while maintaining romantic warmth. These trending colors work exceptionally well in compact environments because they reflect natural light beautifully, while creating emotional warmth that prevents small spaces from feeling cold or institutional. The 2025 cottage color trends emphasize subtle sophistication over bold statements, with muted tones that create serene backgrounds for vintage furniture, floral patterns, and personal collections. How to use trending colors across your tiny home interior. Implement 2025's romantic cottage colors throughout your tiny house by creating cohesive flow that unifies different functional areas while allowing for subtle variation that prevents monotony and adds visual interest. Use lighter versions of your chosen palette as foundation colors for walls and major surfaces, then layer in slightly deeper tones through textiles, painted furniture pieces, and decorative accessories that add depth without overwhelming compact spaces. Strategic color placement can enhance your open concept layout, perhaps using a soft sage green on kitchen cabinetry to define that zone while maintaining cream walls throughout, or incorporating dusty blue textiles in the sleeping area while keeping lavender gray as the unifying wall color. Consider how different areas receive natural light throughout the day, choosing colors that will appear beautiful and consistent despite changing light conditions, while supporting the romantic atmosphere that makes cottage-inspired tiny houses feel like true homes rather than merely efficient living spaces. Budget-friendly tips to add cottage colors without a full makeover. Update your tiny house color palette affordably through strategic accent additions and DIY projects that maximize visual impact while respecting both financial and spatial limitations common to small space living. Focus on easily changeable elements like throw pillows, curtains, table linens, and decorative accessories that can introduce trending colors without requiring major renovation. Paint small furniture pieces, picture frames, or decorative objects in your chosen palette colors to create cohesive accents throughout your space, while repurposing existing textiles through dyeing or creative applications. Conclusion. The cottage-inspired tiny house represents the perfect marriage of practical living and romantic beauty, demonstrating that square footage need not determine the emotional richness or aesthetic appeal of our personal spaces. This enchanting approach to small space design proves that with thoughtful planning, careful material selection, and creative solutions, even the most compact homes can provide all the comfort, beauty, and emotional satisfaction traditionally associated with much larger spaces. The success of cottage-inspired tiny house design lies in its celebration of intentional living, where each possession, color choice, and decorative element serves multiple purposes while contributing to a cohesive vision of comfortable beauty. This approach naturally supports sustainable living practices by encouraging quality over quantity, promoting the reuse and repurposing of vintage pieces, and emphasizing timeless design choices that won't quickly become dated. As tiny house living continues to gain popularity among those seeking simplified, sustainable lifestyles without sacrificing comfort or personal expression, the cottage-inspired approach offers a compelling model for creating homes that are both practical and emotionally nurturing. These carefully designed spaces demonstrate that romance, beauty, and comfort can thrive within any square footage when approached with creativity, intention, and genuine appreciation for the elements that make houses feel like true homes.